guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Masters of the Universe Classics Darius. Darius is a figure that was supposed to come out in the original New Adventures of He-Man toy line, but was cancelled. So he's kind of one of those long-time prototype characters that fans of that series have always wanted to see come to fruition. And thanks to Masters of the Universe Classics, we finally have a toy of this particular character. So let's go ahead and check him out. As you can see, he comes in that standard Masters of the Universe Classics blister card packaging, fully showcasing our action figure within. When you rotate the box around to the backside, we just have a cross-cell showing you other figures in the Classics line. Unfortunately, no bio for this particular figure. So let's go ahead and pull Darius outside of the box and take a good look at him. Now, Darius has a really neat look to him. He definitely has that very New Adventure spacey feel, but with the color scheme and everything and the beard, I always kind of felt like he looked like the space version of King Randor. And I definitely think that's kind of what they were going for here. Almost sort of like a father figure type character for He-Man. But he translated really well into the classic style. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the sculpt work on this figure. Let's go ahead and start up here with the head sculpt, because first of all, you can see there's a really great deco going on with this nice kind of copper look. That copper color has a great shine to it. You can see the way it's reflecting off the lights there. It looks really, really cool. But this is what's great. The helmet is removable. And you can see it's a really nice helmet too. It gets a really good tight fit on there, but it's also easy to remove. And when you pull it off, it's got this absolutely amazing head sculpt underneath. I mean, look at this thing. The character in the face here is phenomenal. I love the look of this guy. Love the way the hair is kind of ruffled. You got that nice ruffly beard there with a really nice paint deco that rounds the whole thing out and makes it look nice. With the exception of the little smudge I have on the end of the nose there, really love the head sculpt on this particular figure. As you're coming down the rest of the figure, you're treated to some really nice sculpt and paint deco. The armor that he's wearing over his chest is the same color kind of copper as that helmet there, but it's also got like a darker metallic color worked in here as well as some silver, and it really has a nice shine to it. In fact, it's kind of got a bit of a speckle in there as well, which really makes it stand out. He's wearing a red suit underneath that, but you can see it's kind of touched up with some nice kind of coppery colors of armor on the shoulders and coming down on the tricep there, and then you got this nice bright gold seen on the wrist bracers and the belt and coming down on the legs. There are a lot of colors here with that copper, the gold, the silver, the blues, and the reds, yet they all mesh together so well. I mean, it just makes a very cool, very sci-fi looking character. Look at all the details worked in here, too. I love this. You almost got like that tech detail worked into the trunks that he's wearing there. I love the straps coming around the back of the armor on his legs there. Just a lot of really cool, intricate details. And even the bottom of the feet have nice little sculpted details that give the whole figure just this really great kind of sci-fi barbarian feel. The back of the figure is sporting a nice big blue cape, another thing that makes him feel very Randor-like. But what's really cool about this is the cape is removable. A lot of capes we've seen in this line have been permanently attached to the armor. That's not the case with Darius. You can pop it right off of the pegs. Look at that. You have these great pegs on the top of the armor, and it clips very nice and tight onto this. I mean, it holds on really good, but still very easy to pop off if you want to, and it reveals even more very cool techie-like sculpt work on the back of the armor there. Really great figure. So let's go ahead and talk about articulation before we get them all put back together here. Well, we got them down to the bare minimum. The head's still ball jointed just like all the other figures, so great range of motion there. Same with the shoulders, ball jointed shoulders, really tight there, forwards, backwards, swivel at the bicep, standard single joint at the elbow, swivel at the wrist, as well as the nice hinge joints on the wrist, which is something we've been seeing with these figures, so it's really cool. The left wrist moves up and down that way, while the right wrist has it more kind of on the side, so you can move the hand side to side. Really nice. You do still have the ab crunch there, as well as the swivel at the waist. You have the nice ball joints at the thighs, so legs can go outwards, move forwards and backwards, as well as swivel. Single joint at the knee, and then really nice joints on the ankles, allowing them to move forwards and backwards, as well as rock side to side. Those rocker joints do look pretty nice on this figure. You can see there is a bit of a gap between them, but I feel like it works pretty good because of the way the boots are sculpted. It doesn't really hinder the look, I don't think, at all. And it does have a really great range of motion that's going to allow for some posability options. So let's go ahead and get the helmet and the cape clip back on here so we can get the full effect while we take a look at his accessory. So he's got 2 different accessories here to look at. First up, he does have this shield. Now the shield is just molded in a gold color plastic. There's no extra paint detail. I kind of wish this was painted because it doesn't really match any of the colors seen on the figures. So that's a bit of a bummer. Still, it's a nice gold plastic. It's nice and solid, and it does have the little clip on there so you can snap it onto his wrist, and it's got a nice tight hold. The other accessory is this crazy little Bola Mace type weapon here. And again, it's just molded in kind of a gray plastic. There's no paint deco. The figure itself has so much paint deco that it does look like they just had to kind of not add any deco to the weapons, maybe for cost. They'd look a little nicer if they had some deco, but it's fine. You can see that it's got a nice kind of softer plastic there, so it's pliable. It can move around. He can hold it in his hand. The original Darius figure was supposed to have an action feature where he whipped this around and swung it, so that's why he comes with this particular weapon. The only downfall is that he doesn't get quite as tight of a grip on it as I'd like. You can see it's a little loose in his hand, but otherwise it rounds out the figure quite nicely. So there you go, my friends. There is a look at the Masters of the Universe Classics Darius, part of the new Club Eternia subscription, which is the Fans' Choice subscription for the 2016 year. He's a long-time wanted character by a lot of fans out there. He fits in really great with the rest of your New Adventures figures and kind of helps to round out that selection on your shelf just a little bit better. I was really impressed with how the whole figure came together, both from a sculpt standpoint and the amazing paint deco on the figure, with the only part of him really lacking any deco at all is the weapons, but the figure itself is absolutely gorgeous, and he definitely was a figure that turned out a lot better than I was expecting him to. So I would highly recommend picking this one up, especially if you're a fan of New Adventures figures or unproduced characters. So this figure was a part of that 2016 subscription, like I told you, available on MattyCollector.com. So happy hunting, my friends! And hey guys, if you enjoyed this review, why not hit that like button and also subscribe? That way you never miss out on one of my reviews. Until next time, my friends.